Hello, this is Richard Murphy. I've been challenged of late to put the record straight on my concern for the ordinary people of Jersey. Now, many people will be aware that I have spent quite a lot of time analysing the impact of the financial services industry on that island. And indeed, its Chief Minister, Senator Frank Walker, is prone to say that I am no friend of Jersey. Well, actually, Frank Walker and my critics are wrong. I am a friend of Jersey. I may not be much of a friend of Frank Walker, or indeed of those who support the finance industry, but that's quite a different thing. But let me explain why that is the case. First of all, let's consider Jersey's position. It's a small island, a Crown Protectorate of the UK, of unclear constitutional status. It sits in the English Channel. It once made its income from tourism, from agriculture, but now makes more than 50% of its income from the financial services sector. It is completely dominated by that one industry. There is no other prospect for its people, but at this time to work for that sector. Now, the sector in Jersey is, frankly, completely out of control. I know that Jersey would wish to represent that it is an international financial services centre of the highest standard, but actually it's a tax haven. And as the paper that I have written recently, and which is being submitted to the US Senate as evidence on its hearings on the future of tax havens shows, it is a location that is completely dedicated to maintaining its status as a tax haven and to create new products and services that allow abuse of the world's financial system by the very wealthy and by corporations who are not committed to paying their taxes in the right place at the right time. Imagine your situation if you were faced with the prospect of working for that industry and no other. Suppose that you did have a conscience. How then would you reconcile that with your employment prospects? Probably by leaving the island. And that's an interesting point. The people of Jersey have little prospect but by leaving. The people who make progress in their island are immigrants. They may have come from London, they may have come from other financial centres, but they're not Jersey people. So when we talk about a lack of care for the people of Jersey, I'm talking about the real people of Jersey. I am not worried about the transitory migrants who dominate that industry at its higher echelons. So in addition, when people say I should be worried about unemployment arising in that industry, I'm not worried that those people will leave that island. I do not believe they add value to that island or to any other part of the world community. My concern is simply and straightforwardly with the rest of the world, making sure tax is paid in the right place, and then dealing with the consequences for Jersey when that industry is closed down. Now, I'm unambiguous about this. That industry does need to be closed down in Jersey because it is an abuse. I can find almost no activity that is undertaken there that could not be undertaken somewhere else or simply need not be undertaken at all. So Jersey appears to face a bleak future, and that's true. It will need help to get over this problem. I'm emphatic about that. We cannot expect Jersey to go through the economic shock of its main source of income being removed without the world outside coming to its support. But this support has happened. Those who say we should continue to support it simply because it's there are Luddites. Let's be clear about this. When there was no future for the steam engine, we didn't carry on supporting it. When there's no future for the offshore financial services industry, we should not carry on supporting it. When an enterprise cannot survive without tax aid, then it should not, according to market theory, and those who oppose me most certainly believe in that market theory, it should not continue if that tax support is essential. Now, effectively, tax havens, of course, rely entirely upon tax support. No tax is effectively a subsidy, and that is what they are seeking to generate by taking taxation revenues from elsewhere to support their economies. It would be cheaper for their economies, it would be cheaper for the world as a whole, it would improve the standards of ethical conduct of business for the world as a whole if their activities were closed down. That would be a more honest, more straightforward and more appropriate basis for the development of Jersey. The people who really belong in Jersey would need help. Need help with the fact that there would be a substantial fall in house prices there, which would, however, let local people enter the housing economy for the first time for many years. They also would need help for retraining, for providing new services, for refocusing their economy on productive activity. I'm quite clear about that. I think the European Union should provide that help. I suspect that Jersey might need to align itself with the EU, not with the UK, that's politically unacceptable and impossible, I'm sure, but with the EU to receive that help. But if it were to do those things, then Jersey has an economic future. As it is, it's paddling hard up a creek for which there is no way out. We know that. We know there is no future. Its leaders know that. It is bankrupt. It cannot afford to support this industry any longer. That industry is morally bankrupt. Its future is gone. The only people who argue for its retention are those who do so for dogmatic reason. Enough is enough. We have to end that process now. Jersey, I care about it a lot. I care about its people a lot. But its financial services industry, I'm sorry, I do not care about that. It causes harm. No one should worry about its preservation.